the Kansas City Chiefs, as it may be. All right, so as you see right here, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid telling reporters today that he hyperextended his knee at practice. His status for Thursday night's opener versus the Lions is uncertain. So Ed Werder joining us now, live from Kansas City. A lot going on there today. Let's start with Travis Kelce. What's the latest, Ed?
Yeah, Laura, just 2 days before Kansas City begins its defense of its Super Bowl championship, the teammate upon whom Patrick Mahomes depends the most, tight end Travis Kelce, hyperextended his knee in a non-contact red zone drill here at the Chiefs practice facility. Andy Reid provided that information, as you said, but shared no details, even though he said he saw it happen. Reid said he did not know yet whether Kelce would be able to play the season opener Thursday night against the Lions. He said the medical staff and the trainers were in the process of evaluating Kelce, who has never missed a game because of injury since becoming a starter in 2014. Receiver Sky Moore said he was encouraged that Kelce was able to leave the field without assistance, although he did describe him as limping. Other players told me that Kelce's demeanor in the immediate aftermath leads them to believe the injury is relatively minor, but recovery time is obviously extremely limited now. And backup tight end Blake Bell cited Kelce's toughness and dependability for his expectation that his teammate will be in the lineup. But again, there's a great deal of speculation in that. Kelce proves unable to play. Bell said, quote, "We'll just keep rolling. We'll be ready to rock and roll with or without him."
Yeah, I mean, only Ed Werder could just maintain the focus with a whole brigade of trucks behind him there, getting things ready to go for the first game. And now they leave the shot as soon as you finish up. Ed, you're hanging tight, so we'll see what shows up in the next part of your live shot, as Travis Kelce has been on the field for the vast majority of Mahomes' career. But when Kelce is on the sidelines, Mahomes' numbers have fallen off. It makes sense. His yards per attempt drops a full yard when Kelce's out. His QBR is 14 points lower than when Kelce is playing. Mahomes isn't as aggressive downfield without Kelce out there either. His air yards per attempt just 6.1 with Kelce on the sideline, nearly 2 fewer yards than when Kelce is on the field. So kind of feels like Travis Kelce's not going to be out there, Dan. I think we have to live in that world a little bit as we talk about it.
Yeah.
If he's not out there, how does the game plan change for Kansas City against the Lions?
Yeah, significantly. This would be a bigger loss than Chris Jones in game one because of the timing. This is 48 hours till you're about to play a football game, and it's the timing of, well, who's going to be the information getter for Patrick now? Travis always is that guy formationally. Who's going to be the motion person? They put so much on his plate pre-snap and how smart of a player he is. And then who's going to be like that go-to person, the winner? I say this all the time. Travis is a guidelines guy. Hey, run the route on paper this way. Travis, you run it however you need to get open. So because of the timing, I think this could have a bigger impact than, Chris Jones likely not paying in his long-term holdout.
I fully agree, Dio. The other thing is the improv part of Patrick Mahomes' game and that synergy that they have. And we know in week one, when you working out kinks, even though these guys have been together for a long time, different looks will probably be thrown at this offense from Detroit's defense. So him and Travis Kelce's rapport beyond the X's and O's or the play call is what concerns me. Because usually in week one, we see guys just have to be man beaters. We see guys that have to improv, like you talked about, with his route running ability and what he's able to do within this offense. So when those plays extend, I am trying to figure out who's going to be the guy that Patrick Mahomes is going to have his eye on, knowing that they on the same page about what's about to happen.
Yeah, you never want to see injuries, right? But if you're Detroit right now, you might be like, ooh, okay, this is interesting. How does it change their game plan if he's not out there on Thursday?
Yeah, between this and Chris Jones, they really do feel like God is smiling on them this season. I think for Detroit, what's noteworthy is this makes it easier for their defense to do what they do, which is play man coverage.
Right.
Played the second most man coverage in the NFL last year. That's what they've done under their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. And when you're facing the Kansas City Chiefs in man coverage, typically the go-to answer is Travis Kelce. When the Chiefs played man last year, he was targeted on 30% of his routes. No other Chiefs receiver came close. He had 20 more catches nearly versus man than any other receiver, and the second most was Juju Smith-Schuster, who's no longer there. So for the Lions, I think this makes their life a lot easier because it allows them to stick to their defensive identity. And I'll just say one thing for Kansas City. If, and I think when the Lions do play man, Kadarius Toney becomes really important because he has the abilities, the separation, the movements, what he does in motion in the backfield to beat man coverage. He is playing in this game, which is not something we saw a lot last year. He has to rise to the occasion with Kelce out versus those looks.
So versatile, right? Go ahead, but then I got something else for you.
My mind immediately goes to, if Detroit wants us to take them as seriously as they want us to, they have to win the game if Travis doesn't play. Number two, to Mina's point, the matchup then really becomes like C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kadarius Toney, because that's what I think Detroit would do. Play him man-to-man throughout the whole game and almost treat him like Travis Kelce.
Yeah, a couple of former Florida Gators. Okay, so let's say you're Travis Kelce and you want to be out there for the opener, right? That's well, you know, we got to win where we can because we can't win other places. But okay, so you want to be out there on the field, right?
Yeah.
And that's who he is. But if you're Andy Reid, are you playing this guy week 1 if he's not 100%?
If there is a risk of further injury, I don't care how minimal it is, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Game 1, long season, likely in the playoffs, and it's an NFC opponent, not an AFC opponent. If I think that I'm going to put my chances of the long-term success more at risk, he doesn't play.
This is pretty rare, you guys. Kansas City's right now, their week 1 spread has moved a full point, 6.5 to 5 at Caesars Sportsbook. That's how much Travis Kelce affects this game. No shocker there.
Yeah, Chris Jones was the news before the Travis Kelce news. At this point, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo has prepared the Chiefs defense to play without their most indispensable member, holdout defensive tackle Chris Jones. Spagnuolo, Laura, has emphasized playing fundamentally sound as a defensive group on every play, telling his players, without Jones, it can't be about all pro players. It has to be a game decided by the combined execution of all on the field.
Yeah, we'll see how all that plays out. But we all know the importance of Chris Jones. Thanks to Ed for the latest there from Kansas City. And the Chiefs are the favorites to win the AFC again, something they've done in 3 of the last 4 seasons. As you see it there, the Bills are second at 18%, according to ESPN analytics, followed by the Bengals at 15%. I'm actually shocked they're that low. But anyway, they're the only 3 AFC teams with a double-digit chance. The Ravens are 4th at 8%.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.